It's no mystery that the Denver real estate market has been through a boom and bust cycle for the last several years. And it has a lot of people wondering, are we in a bubble? And what will it take to change this market? So to answer those questions, we brought in realtor Wade Perry. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome, Corey.
So before we get to those actual questions, we have to look at average home prices first.
Correct. The average home sale price in Denver is up somewhere in the 50 to 55% over the last 5 years and about 30 to 35% over the last 3 years. We have really been through an incredible cycle, and I think it's important for people to know the reason why. We see one of our graphs here is showing that the average home sale price has really gone up. The primary reason on the second chart is the fact that the number of homes available for sale have been extremely low, down around 5,000 from a high of 32,000 just a few years ago.
All right, so in your opinion, would you say that we are currently in a bubble?
I'm going to answer that question by saying I'm not an attorney and I'm not an economist, but I did say at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and we are not in a bubble. And I think that it's important for the viewers to understand what constitutes a bubble. Just because we have gone up really quickly doesn't mean we're in a bubble. We would actually have to be able to come down really quickly. So if I go back in time to when we had our last bubble, it was really fueled by buyers getting loans that really had no business getting loans. And those loans were primarily adjustable rate loans where the rate would change about 3 years later. Their payment could go up by 50%, maybe even double, and all of a sudden they can no longer make that payment. So we saw a glut of people buying homes, demand, driving prices up. 3 years later, we saw these same people having to sell their homes because they couldn't afford them. That meant a flood of homes coming on the market, and prices dropped 10, 20, 30%. So that was the last bubble.
This is more
we're not
steady,
in one now.
Right?
Correct. And so the condition that we're in today is that it's really been fueled by demand, and we have been making up for lost time from the really low point where we were. In order for us to really constitute this as a bubble, in my opinion, we'd have to be able to collapse really quickly. And we're not going to do that. What would have to happen in order for us to do that is, one, we would have to see a massive flood of supply come to the market. Builders just aren't building that quickly. The other thing is that we would need to see the demand for housing in Denver just plummet through the floorboards. And you and I were talking, I've said, Denver is not becoming unpopular anytime soon.
It's not. You sent me a statistic where you're saying 90,000 people are expected to move here to Colorado this year. And
Correct.
A lot of people have been saying, well, are we going to outprice ourselves?
Correct. And this addresses your second question, which is what could make this change? Instead of crashing in the way of a bubble popping, I believe we're going to see these appreciation rates, instead of being 12% like the last 12 months, we're going to see it wane. We're going to see it slow down, primarily because we will see these prices get to a point where people coming from out of town, these 90,000 people, won't be able to afford the prices that we're charging here. They'll choose a different place to move to. So we'll see our appreciation maybe come down to 8 to 6 to 4, etc., rather than crashing down. All in all, Denver, due to its diverse economy, our location, our world-class mass transit systems, our parks, our trails, we're going to be a desirable place to live for a long, long time. So in short, we're not in a bubble. We're just in a really, really great place.
Awesome, Wade. Thank you so much.
You bet,
we always
Corey.
put Wade's tips on our website at 9news.com. We'll be right back.